But because you're a male, you can't search me?
I'm not going to search you.
Why not? I give you authorization to.
Well, I'm not going to do that, so.
Bro, I like men. Come on, just search me.
What's your boyfriend?
On November 30th, 2022, officers from the Castleberry Police Department noticed a suspicious vehicle swerving in and out of land. When the officers pulled this woman over, she revealed to them that she's a stripper at a bar called Dancers. And she also said that she was texting her boyfriend while driving, as if this wasn't suspicious enough. The more she talked, the more reason she gave to the officers to arrest her. What could drive someone to discard items so hastily, like a desperate act of concealment? The officers couldn't help but suspect more. This is where the story takes a suspenseful turn. What they uncovered at the end will shock you. It begins with the flashing red and blue lights of the police cruiser pulling over a woman on a quiet suburban street. She rolled down her window, revealing herself to be a stripper at a place called Dancers. Her admission of her occupation raised an eyebrow, but wasn't the only strange thing about her. She then admitted that she had been texting her boyfriend while behind the wheel.
What time did you get off at Dancers?
11.
11?
It's an hour and a half away.
You got off at 11? It's 10:23 right now.
Really? Oh. I was supposed to get off at 11, but I got off a little bit later.
You mean a little bit earlier?
King Rick? Yes, sorry. You can search the car if you want to.
The officers couldn't help but notice that the more she talked, the more reasons she seemed to give them to consider arresting her. To cross-question, the officer asked about the time she got off, to which she gave an answer, which did not make sense, as the time she stated was 11 while it was 10:23 at the moment. But that wasn't the end of it. Her response raised more questions than answers. Her story began to crumble before their eyes. As she began to stammer, her words tangled in a web of inconsistency. She offered to officers that they can check the car if there's any suspicion her. It seemed she was willing to say anything to placate the officers.
Okay.
Right.
Did you have anything to drink while
No, I'm 19.
You're 19?
I cannot drink at the strip club, nothing.
Nothing?
No.
The officers questioned her further, asking if she had consumed any alcohol, to which she denied, as she claimed to be 19, perhaps hoping that this assertion would clear her name. As they continued their investigation,
Don't get on my eyelashes, bro.
The light will hurt your eyelashes?
No, but they falling off.
the driver, in a rather peculiar fashion, made a statement about her lashes while referring the cop as a bro, which is used informally, and not when you are being investigated by cops.
How bad is your vision? Like, are you able to...
I mean, I can see, but, you know, it's...
The plot thickened when the driver decided to exit her vehicle, revealing not only a tire that suggested a surprising level of modesty given her line of work, but also an unexpected detail: she was driving barefoot. Officers' curiosity extended to the driver's sobriety and visual acuity as he questioned about her vision and control of her movements.
I'm
Okay. You're gonna,
Let's just walk in a straight line and I'll be good.
Well, that's not even, I haven't even told you the exercise that I'm doing yet, so you gotta...
I'm cold.
Okay. I mean, just give me 10 minutes of your time.
Okay.
Okay?
We're fine. Yes, I can walk in a straight line. What do you want to do? Count from...
Hold on. I didn't tell you that's what we're gonna do yet.
I know, but I know how the police is.
Okay. Well, let me do what I'm gonna do, and then we can go from there, okay? So, like I said, you said you don't wear any contacts. Is your vision...
I do. I wear
I mean,
contacts.
I'm sorry. You said you wear contacts, but is your vision
It's bad.
bad? Is bad?
As the sobriety test got underway, because the teenager kept complaining about being cold and trying to rush the test. The officer then requested 10 minutes for the test. The officer said, "You initially mentioned that you don't use any contact lenses for your vision correction, but now you're saying you do." However, the officer needed to clarify, with or without contacts, how is her vision? She mentioned that her vision was pretty poor, to the extent that the officer's finger, which wasn't even too far from her, appeared quite blurry. Although we can't ignore the fact she is driving late at night, without any contacts and poor vision.
Just follow with your eyes. Don't move your head, okay? Don't move your head.
The officer then gave her instructions for the first part of the test, in which she had to follow the pen with her eyes, in which she kept moving her head. This only increased the suspicion of her being drunk and driving.
Let me
On my
explain.
side, black in a straight line.
Can I explain it to you?
Go ahead.
Okay, so this is pretty.
It's cold.
You think this is pretty straight, right?
It is.
Yeah. So you're gonna be able to choose whatever leg you want for this one.
Hello.
Can we?
Sorry.
Can we hold on? Can we hang up the phone and do this right now?
Therefore, another test was conducted to either confirm the suspicion or deny. As the sobriety test continued, the suspect's attempts to subtly seduce the police officers became increasingly apparent, but her efforts were far from successful. The officers instructed her to stand with her hands by her sides and her feet together.
You gotta look at your foot, hands by your side.
Look at my foot and count.
Yes.
Okay. Ready?
Yes.
1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 1007, 1008, 1009, 1010, 1011, 1012, 1013.
Officer clearly said that when I tell you to start, you're going to raise either leg approximately 6 inches off the ground, and gave her more instructions to fairly conduct the test.
Bro, come on. This is ridiculous.
Despite being a cheerleader who do not struggle at balancing on one leg, the suspect struggled to maintain her balance, and the officers noticed her difficulty, which then confirmed their suspicion. The officer then decided to take action. He suggested that they take out the handcuffs and arrest her, and they did.
Female officers around to do that.
I'm good, bro. Check me. I don't care. I'm giving authorization to you. I've been in the legal field. I'm going to school. I got a paralegal license.
That's awesome.
Yes. So y'all can check me. Yes. I want to get my own office. So check me, please.
Surprisingly, the suspect casually mentioned that there was a gun in the vehicle, seemingly in an attempt to distract the officers. That must sound like a clever way to distract, but it was in fact foolish in front of the cops. They proceeded with caution. They suggested bringing a female police officer to the scene for a proper search. This is when the suspect tries to lure in the inspectors, as the suspect insisted on being searched by them instead. She says that I'm giving full authorization to you, meaning full consent of being touched, and claims that she has experience in the legal field in order to sound more convincing.
But because you're a male, you can't search me?
We're not gonna search you.
Why not? I give you authorization too.
Well, I'm not gonna do that, so.
Bro, I like men. Come on, just search me.
What's your boyfriend?
Despite her insistence, the officers chose not to search her. The officers, unfazed by the suspect's attempts at seduction and maintaining their professionalism, decided against searching her, and the incident continued to unfold in its own peculiar and unpredictable way. In a peculiar turn of events, the woman found herself in a rather tricky situation. Her persistence in pushing the officers to check her seemed to stem from a growing desperation. Perhaps she believed that by flirting and making bold advances, the officers might give in to her requests and let her off the hook. However, reality didn't align with her expectations, as law enforcement doesn't operate on such terms. Frustration and tension filled the air as the woman continued to make her case. She lamented the absence of a jacket, repeating her desire to be searched. The situation escalated as she claimed to be a paralegal and a student of law, seemingly believing that her legal knowledge gave her the right to dictate the course of the encounter. Despite her pleas and attempts to influence the officers, they stood firm.
Right now. And I'm going to school for law. And y'all fucking my shit up right now.
I mean, we didn't do anything, so.
But because I couldn't say 1,010, like, come on.
No, it was a combination of all those exercises.
I'm cold. I'm shaking. You see me shaking right now? Okay. It's not because I'm nervous. I'm not nervous at all.
You're on speakerphone.
They reiterated their position that a search was not warranted in this scenario, which only seemed to fuel her frustration further. Amidst this bizarre exchange, the woman's emotions ran high. She cited her cold and trembling state, emphasizing that her shaking was not due to nervousness, but rather the chilly weather. It was as if she were grasping at straws, seeking any reason to justify her behavior and convince the officers to accede to her unusual requests. She made an unexpected move by asking the officers to call her boyfriend. Her rationale was to prevent her car from being towed, and she simply wanted to leave the scene. It was a shift from her previous insistence on being searched, signaling a growing desperation to resolve the situation. In the end, the entire encounter left both the officers and the woman perplexed, with no clear resolution in sight. It was a peculiar and somewhat baffling sequence of events that left more questions than answers in its wake.
Okay. I love you.
Call me when you can, okay?
I will. It'll be Seminole, so
Okay.
and your gun's gonna be, your firearm's gonna be at by your house. Just walk and go get it, okay?
Okay, sweetheart.
All right. I love you, baby.
I love you too. Can you please say I love you too, Lonnie? This is just...
I love you, Lele. I love you, baby. I see you, mommy. I love you, pumpkin.
The conversation on the phone appeared to be a heartfelt exchange between the woman who had been pulled over by the police and her boyfriend. The woman began by expressing her love, and her boyfriend responded with reassurance, explaining that he would take care of her firearm, mentioning it would be at the firehouse for her to retrieve later. This indicated a level of responsibility and support on his part. The inclusion of their daughter in the conversation demonstrated a family dynamic, with the daughter addressing her mother as "Mommy." This family-oriented aspect added a layer of emotional depth to the call, as it indicated that the woman had loved ones who cared about her well-being. Overall, the call seemed to serve as a source of emotional support and connection during a potentially stressful situation. It highlighted the importance of close relationships. However, the woman found herself in a tight spot, facing a DUI charge despite explaining that the considerable stash of cash discovered in her vehicle came from her job as a stripper at Dancers. It was a twist in the tale that led to her receiving a 9-month probation sentence. Whereas there have been much worse cases than this with a longer DUI charge, we can say that the cops still went easy on her